Let's get ready to story!
Yeah. This is really nice because all I see is like a bright white light, like I'm going to heaven. And this kind of like what I felt like in this story that I'm about to tell. I have always known that I liked women. I didn't always know what being gay or lesbian meant, but I always knew I was different when I was the one late for gym class because I was standing in the locker room watching my classmates' newly sprouted C-cups instead of going up and getting dressed. When I was in high school, I had a small group of friends, and I did confide in them that, I believed I was lesbian, and they told me that I was only trying to fit in with them. So I know, yeah, right, fuck them. So I never really had any gay influences in my life until one day I did. I was at a job interview, and I heard a cell phone ring, and it wasn't just any ordinary cell phone ring. It was the same exact cell phone ring as mine, which wasn't any ordinary cell phone ring. It was Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back. It was fall of 2006, and that's when I turned around and I saw him. He was 6 foot tall, wearing a knockoff velour blazer, a black dress coat, jeans pressed with a crease in the middle, and leather ankle boots. And he smiled at me without his teeth, kind of like this. And that's when I knew I had made a friend. And I remember the first time he invited me over his house. I had confided in him that I was on the brink of my first lesbian kiss ever. I was very nervous, and he invited me over for tea. And I remember what his room looked like. It was all the hardwood paneling, big Rocky Horror Picture Show posters, all over the place, a dozen mannequins from beauty school, all with full drag makeup on them. About a dozen Aquanet cans, empty probably, more than I've ever seen in one specific area at a time. And he had these books, the really awesome books. One was called The Dictionary, Gay to Z, and it had terms in it that I've never heard of before, like cornflake, which I believe is a gay boy from the country, and a crepe Suzette, which was a fashionable and high fashion older gay man that was a little bit wrinkly. So I was reading this book on his bed, and I was just looking up tribadism or tribadism, and I still never found out how you said it, but it feels really good. And he says, "So, you're nervous about munching your first carpet?" And to be honest, I had to flip back in the pages a couple bit to find out exactly what carpet munching was. And to be honest, it was quite terrifying. I closed my eyes really hard and I tried to imagine Jillian Michaels munching on my carpet. And I felt really, really embarrassed, and I blushed, and I told him that I actually was avoiding kissing this girl for over a month. He said, "Oh, honey, you need to loosen up." So what I thought was about to be tea, maybe with a little whiskey in it to calm my nerves, was not tea. And it was not coffee, and it was not hot cocoa. It was crack. And it's sad. I know this is what happens to the youth in America. So, I sat there and watching him roll up what I then found was called a Diablito, which is a nice fat blunt with marijuana in it and a generous sprinkling of crack cocaine on the top of it. And, my experience with drugs at this point was very much like my sexuality. First, second base at best. Drank a little bit. I think I smoked, never anything more like that. But I always found that my want to have other people like me or please them was always trumped any kinds of moral standards that I had set for myself. So I gave in, and I smoked it, and as I exhaled, I coughed up a thick white cloud of smoke, and he says, "First one doesn't count," and he puts it back up to my lips, and as he puts it back up to my lips, he smiles, and this time he smiles, and he shows me all of his teeth, or lack thereof teeth. And that's when it hit me. I did not make a friend. This is a crackhead. I'm with a crackhead in his bedroom, smoking crack. And all of a sudden, with each hit I take, I see my future in front of me, and I'm standing there in front of an electric stove with a pot of boiling water, boiling hot dogs in the water, and I'm turning, yelling at my future children who are both by illegitimate crack dealer fathers, each different, and as I'm opening my mouth, I see myself and I have no teeth. So I'm freaking out. I snap out of it. I look in the mirror. I smile. I check. I still have all my teeth. I tell him that I have to go. I run to my friend's house, who was a few blocks away, and I run up her stairs, and she goes, Ange, what is wrong with you? And I tell her, I met a guy, and I didn't know he didn't have any teeth, so I smoked crack with him because I thought he would help me kiss a girl. And she's like, probably wasn't surprised. She just shakes her head, and she goes over to her bookshelf, and she takes out 2 pamphlets. I don't know why she conveniently had them there. One said crack is whack. The other one is why crack is the #1 killer in America. And I immediately started crying and ate an entire box of stale whale cheese crackers, and I cried myself to sleep. And to this day, it has been 9 years since that day. I have kissed my fair share of lips, both kinds. And thank you. Some were good, some were bad. And I've never smoked crack since. Thank you.